Should you buy the key on your next Royal Caribbean cruise? The answer is no, and I'm going to tell you why. Here's a list of the 9 things that are included in the key. I'm going to go through them one by one and tell you if I like them or if I don't like them, and I'll let you make up your mind if the key is worth it. The first thing included is early check-in. You get to check in at 11 a.m. when you have the key. Okay, if you had a late check-in, that might be nice to have. But really, if you watched my last video, which is going to be linked in the description below, you could get early check-in as early as 10 or 10:30, which is even better than the 11 a.m. check-in time for the key. The second benefit is luggage drop-off. The luggage drop-off is in the main dining room, which means you have to go through security and drop your luggage off, where they will then bring it to your room. Personally, when I get out of the Uber, I'll just rather give it to the porter and give him a couple dollar tip, and then I don't have to drag my luggage through security, through the promenade, into the main dining room. Much more efficient just to give it to the porter. That's my 2 cents. Now, the third benefit is a welcome lunch in the main dining room, featuring Shop's Grill. That actually is pretty nice, except it's a very limited menu as you can see here. The nicest thing about the Shop's welcome lunch, I think, is that it's away from the hustle and bustle. And you get a good lunch. Granted, it is a very limited menu. The fourth benefit of the key is 20% off specialty dining. Yeah, you would think that's good, except if you pre-purchase it in the cruise plan before your cruise, you're going to save 20% or more. So, is it good? Not really. And by far, the best benefit of the key is the free Voom and Surf Stream internet for each person that gets the key. Now you might think, well, if it's only a few dollars more, it's worth getting. Let's say the key is $5 more per person. So instead of $22 for the internet, I'm paying $27 for the key, which includes the internet, and I get all these other benefits. Well, let's do the math. My wife and I have a 9-night cruise coming up that's got 3 tender ports. So on a 9-night cruise at $5 extra per person, that's $45 for me, $45 for my wife. That's $90 extra per person. The problem with that is I'm never going to buy the internet with one person, one device. If you watched one of my previous videos of how to buy internet for cheap, linked in the description below, you would know that it is less expensive to buy one person and 2 devices or 3 or 4 devices, much, much cheaper. In this example, if I was traveling with a family of 4, one person and 4 devices, the internet is only $10 per person per day. So if I was paying $27 a day for the key for all 4 people in a room instead of $22 for the internet, I want to be spending, I don't even know how much extra. Now if there's 4 of us in the room and I'm paying an extra $5 a day, so $27 for the key instead of $22 for each of us to have the internet, we're thinking it's $5 extra a day, right? No, because I was able to get it for $10 per person per day. So instead of $27, $10, so $27 minus $10 is an extra $17 per person per day that we would be paying for the key. On this 9-night cruise example, 17 times 4 people in a room per day is an extra $68 a day. Times a 9-night cruise is an extra $612. I can go on a 3-day weekend cruise almost for $612, or put that towards an excursion. Now I love Royal Caribbean, but I would rather go on more cruises or go on some nice excursions rather than spend this much extra for the key. So if you are seriously considering the key, be sure to price out the internet correctly and watch the video linked in the description below of how to get the internet for cheap. One person, 2 devices, or 4 devices. Now, if you're cruising solo, that is the only time that I have seen that the key might be worthwhile, in my opinion. Now, if I'm saving you any money yet, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you can be up to date with all the latest tips on best ways to save money. All right, and the next benefit is access to the Fastlane Pass and private time at certain onboard activities like the Flow Rider and the rock climbing wall. Do you know when those times are available? The Flow Rider is available at like 9 a.m. The rock wall is going to be available at like a 5 o'clock p.m. before dinner on a day that you're docked at Perfect Day at Coco K or something like that. The times are not optimal. You're not going to use this. And all 2 or 4 people in your room are probably not going to use this. So once again, not a real good value in my opinion. Priority ship to shore tender. This was the main reason why I was really considering getting the key on our 9-night Greek Isle cruise, is because we got 3 tender ports. But for the amount extra, it's just not worth it. We can put that money towards a Royal Caribbean excursion, and then we would actually still be one of the first ones off the ship because we have a Royal Caribbean excursion. Although I would like to save a little bit of money, not necessarily having to buy it through Royal Caribbean. Dedicated seating at shows is another nice benefit on paper. Now, if you're on a Oasis class ship, a Quantum class ship, or an Icon class ship, you still have to reserve your shows before you get on the ship. So therefore, if you don't, that reserved section of seats does you no good. Once again, not a real good benefit in my opinion, and just something that the marketing team at Royal Caribbean does a really good job. The next benefit that Royal Caribbean lists is Debarkation Day. Now this one is actually pretty nice. The night before, you leave your luggage out just like everyone else, except you get a special luggage tag for the key. And then you get to have breakfast leisurely in the main dining room and get off when you want to get off. The other nice thing about the key on Debarkation Day, when you go pick up your bag, it's in a special section, so it's much easier to find. Now, typically, I carry my own luggage off, so I don't have to worry about that part. But that is a very nice feature. If you are seriously considering getting the key, make sure you do the math correct and figure out what the internet truly costs if you're buying for one person and 2 devices, and watch that video link below. Now, the only person that I think that should really possibly consider getting the key is going to be that solo traveler. If you get 2 people in a room, it's probably not going to make sense. If you get 4 people in a room, it's definitely not going to make sense. Anybody that's 6 or older staying in the same room must purchase the key. Personally, I'm not going to be getting the key on any of my upcoming cruises because even at $5 difference per day, it's not $5 difference a day if you know how to purchase the internet correctly. Let me know in the comments below. Are you going to get the key again? This is Brian, Tips for Cruisers. And if you're getting any value out of this so far, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button.